Hey everybody, this is Whiskey Fellow. Thank you for watching. Um, this Sunday, 30 Days of Bourbon Challenge starts. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, I don't need to listen to this because I drink bourbon every single day, drinking it for 30 days, no big deal. Well, that's not what this 30 Days of Bourbon Challenge is. I started this 10 years ago, and it was a way for me to figure out how to give back while having some fun during Bourbon Heritage Month, which is the month of September. Event has grown tremendously. Uh, it, it does involve drinking 30 bourbons for 30 days, but 30 bourbons have to be different. Can't be the same, you're not hitting your normal go to every single night. You can do that if you want, but it doesn't count for the purposes of this challenge. It's got to be 30 different bourbons, 30 days. If you want to drink rye, if you want to drink scotch, if you want to drink Irish, American single malts, that's great, but you still have to drink a bourbon for each one of the days. There are some common questions. First one is, hey, there's a lot of brands out there that source from places like MGP, Barton, Dickel, Jim Beam. Is that okay? And the short answer is yes, as long as they are different and not the same one. So MGP has several recipes that they've got, for example, and brands do different things with them. They finish them in different things. They do whatever it is to make it unique. As long as it's not the same thing, it counts as something new. Second question is, hey, what about Blanton's? What about single barrels? Let's hit single barrels first, since Blanton's is a single barrel. This will fall into it. It's got to be a different. It's got to be a different barrel number because each barrel is a different bourbon. So if you have a bunch of Blanton's Horsey Stoppers, these are really cool. Blantons spells Blanton's, but that does not make seven different Blantons unless they come from seven different barrels, which is probably what you've got. Uh, Next one is different mash bills. Do those count from the same brand? And the one that immediately comes to mind is Four Roses. If you're unfamiliar with Four Roses, they have 10 different mash bills in their regular lineup for single barrels. And if you have all 10 of them or more, but they come from different barrels, same thing as the Blantons, it counts. The next one is, what about different proofs of the same brand? And a great example of this is Old Granddad. Old Granddad makes an 80 proof, a 100 proof, which is bottled in bond, and a 114 proof. The Old Granddad 114, the Old Granddad 80 proof, they count as the same bourbon. The only difference there is proof. The bottled in bond is different because you have all of the rules that are involved. One of those rules is must be distilled in a single distillation season. So that's going to mean it's not going to be part of this big, huge batch of various barrels. Some are this age, some are this age, like Old Granddad 114 and the 80 proof are. Last very common question is, what about cocktails? The answer to that's really easy. If you can identify the bourbon that goes into that cocktail, as long as it's a different one every day, you can have 30 days of cocktails. Enjoy. So, the second part of the 30 Days of Bourbon Challenge is figuring out how to give back to the community. And this is where I think this really shines. Um, we we ask that you do $30 or more to any charity of your choice. It doesn't matter. If there's a cause that's important to you, great. Use that. One of the really important things about charities and fundraising is they need attention. So every day I post my drink of the day to social media, and I mention the RSDSA, Reflex Sympathetic Dystrophy Syndrome Association, which is the charity that I pick every single year. Um, why do I do that? Because my wife, Mrs. Whiskey Fellow, has been battling a disease called CRPS for about the last 10 years. And if you don't know what that is, most people don't. It's okay. It's a disease that doesn't get a lot of attention. CRPS, the easiest way that I can explain it is, let's say you whack your knee into a cabinet. Hurts for a minute or two. Then, it might leave a bruise, but 20 minutes later, we forgot we even did it. With CRPS, if you whack your knee into that cabinet, it never stops hurting if you've got CRPS in that area. And it can impact any part of your body. It expands within your body. There is no cure for it yet. Lord willing, there will be, but it's not here yet. So that's the charity of my choice. How do you keep track of your 30 days of bourbon to make sure you're not doing any repeats? I have on my website a calendar that you can download that goes day by day. It's got all the rules at the bottom and tells you everything that you need to know. Where do you download that from? Well, I have this here. You can click this QR code. It will take you directly to the post on my website that talks about the 30 Days of Bourbon Challenge. You can go to whiskeyfellow.net and search for it yourself. I published it about a week, 10 days ago. If you don't know what charity you want, and you want to consider going to Reflex Sympathetic Dystrophy Syndrome Association, here's the website right here, rsds.org/donate. When you tag on social media, aside from giving a shout out to the charity of your choice, feel free to tag me at Whiskey Fellow. Feel free to throw in the hashtag 30 Days of Bourbon. It's a good way to check up to see just how popular it is. And again, this has been amazing how this has grown year after year after year. The last thing is, look, this is meant to be fun, really. Don't stress over this. I have friends who every year don't wind up finishing the challenge. Life happens. People get sick, whatever. If you can't do it, you can't do it. There will be an 11th 30 Days of Bourbon Challenge, I promise. But have fun with this. Explore. Learn. Pull out a bourbon that's sitting in the back of your cabinet that you forgot about. Go to a good liquor store. Find those 50 mil tasters and buy a bunch of those. Go to a good whiskey bar. It doesn't have to be top shelf stuff. It just has to be 30 different bourbons. Make friends if you don't have any who have other bourbons. Invite people over to share yours, and perhaps they'll bring some over to share as well. Anyway, look, I hope you're going to join me this year. This is going to be a lot of fun. It is every single year. We raise some great money for some great charities. And we'll see you on Sunday. Cheers, everybody.